Welcome to the Toma Vocal Production channel. I'm really excited to start this channel and to share over 30 years of vocal coaching and vocal instruction experience with you. I'm assuming that you're here because, well, you want to be a better singer. And I understand that we may be having people joining us with all different levels of experience in vocalization. Welcome, and I'm excited to have you here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises. I know for a lot of people it's synonymous, it means the same thing, but I think that there's a significant difference between the two. So we're going to talk a little bit about those differences today, how to be smarter in your vocal warm-ups and your vocal exercises, and I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to use them more effectively. So, before we get started, I'd like to first invite you to give this video a big thumbs up. Click that like button down below. And also take a moment and hit the subscribe button. Your subscription will help me to be able to produce more content for you in the future to help you with your vocal goals. And also, don't be afraid to add some comments down below. Things that are helpful for you and things that you would like to learn more about. I'll be sure to check those out, respond to them, and it will help me in producing the content that will be most helpful and useful for you. So let's first talk a little bit about the difference between vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises. Like I said before, for a lot of people that means the same thing. But I like to compare it to going to the gym if you're going to exercise. Now maybe your goal is to increase in muscle mass, and so you're going to be lifting some heavy weights. You've got some kind of exercise or workout plan, right? The first thing you need to do though is warm your body up. The warming up helps you to stretch your muscles, create some elasticity, make sure tendons and other body tissue is ready to handle the stress that you're going to impose upon it. It also gets blood flowing, right, to those muscles and other body tissues. That's an important part of your workout routine. And once you've got your body warmed up, then you're ready to go hit the weights, right, and put some stress into them and start working them out. Well, much the same way, we do the same thing with our voice. So I'm not really sure that the voice actually raises in temperature when you do a warm-up, but it is increasing blood flow to it and helping to create elasticity and also engaging your mind and your body in what we call muscle memory. You're preparing your body to be able to sing. And so warm-ups are always an important part of what you do whenever you're going to start to vocalize. I like to compare it to what I call now and later. Vocal warm-ups are for right now. They help prepare you to be able to sing for now. Whether you're going to be doing vocal exercises or if you're going to be performing, you need to get your voice and the rest of your body prepared to be able to sing. The later part comes with vocal exercises. That's a little more future looking. We're trying to be able to stretch our voice, increase our vocal ability so that you can use that later when you're singing. Maybe it's increasing range or resonance. Maybe it's your vocal placement that you're trying to work on. So you're stretching your voice. You're pushing it beyond some bounds that you've had before. Again, I consider those two things very different. All right, so let's now talk about 4 tips in helping you to make your vocal warm-ups and your vocal exercises more efficient and effective for you. So tip number 1, be choosy. What I mean by that is choose carefully your vocal warm-up and or your vocal exercises. Make sure that you're choosing ones that will be specific to what you're trying to accomplish with your voice. If you're trying to create elasticity with your voice in preparation for singing, for a rehearsal session or performance, choose vocal exercises that work on that elasticity. Maybe you're trying to engage your breathing mechanisms or your resonators. Then choose warm-ups that are going to help you to find that, to fine-tune it, to get it prepared to sing. Same thing with your vocal exercises. If you want to increase in vocal range, then be specific in choosing vocal exercises that are going to work on your range, whether it's going up or going down. Or maybe you're trying to work on smoothing out your passaggio, your transition or your break point. will choose exercises that really work you on that. Number 2, be conscientious in your vocal warm-ups and exercises. Probably my biggest pet peeve with my vocal students is when I sense that we're going through our warm-ups or our exercises and that they're not thinking about it. I can tell almost immediately. I always warm up my students and take them through some vocal exercises. And I can tell when they are not engaging their mind in it. They're just simply hitting the notes. Hitting the notes is not the issue for most of my students. They can hit the notes. I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to help them to become consistent in their vocalization or to increase their ability to sing. And so I need them to be conscientious, to create a mind and body connection. I need them to become very self-aware of what they're doing and to be able to replicate it, do it over and over and over again. That takes a tremendous amount of focus and concentration. Tip number 3, always do warm-ups first and then go into your rehearsal session, including vocal exercises. Going back to that gym analogy, right? You'll always do your warm-ups first before you go into heavy weightlifting. And so the same thing, before you go into rehearsal session and start to really push the limits of your voice or to try and discover new places in your voice, first warm the voice up. Get it so that it's elastic, so that it's feeling comfortable, so that you've found again the right placement. You're creating good compression, airflow, right? Breathing, all these things that we're going to talk about in future videos. You want to make sure that those are in place first and then go into your rehearsal session or to your performance. And tip number 4, consistency. Doing vocal warm-ups or vocal exercises once a week is better than nothing, but it doesn't create a whole lot of muscle memory. The brain needs to have repetition, and so the more frequently that you can do these, I would say at least 5 days a week, every day, do a warm-up session and a vocal exercise session. It really helps your brain to program in where that placement is, what it feels like through the whole body, getting everything in alignment and working the way you want it to. You want to start to memorize how it feels to not have tension in the voice, where that placement is, how to replicate it. It really becomes about what I refer to as muscle memory, right? It's being able to have the brain memorize it and be able to replicate it again and again and again whenever you want it to. When you're singing a song, you're not trying to figure out where your placement is. The brain knows exactly what to do, how to engage all the various parts of the body that are involved with vocalization. It puts them into place and it does it. That is what vocal warm-ups, vocal exercises, practice is all about. All right. One more little tip that I want to give. It's a bonus tip, right? And that is vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises help us to do what I call again that mind-body connection. If I were to ask you to wiggle your ears, now I've got some friends who actually can wiggle their ears. It's pretty amazing. But for most of us people, like myself, if you ask me to wiggle my ears, I don't even know where to start with that, right? I can think about wiggling my ears, but I don't know which muscles to engage to make my ears wiggle. And the voice is much the same way for especially beginning singers. Now they know how to vocalize, they know how to make a noise with their voice, they may even know how to sing and to hit a pitch. But when we start talking about vocal closure or vocal fold approximation, or where we start talking about where their larynx is at, that is a disconnect for them. They don't even know where to go with that and how to start to affect their voice. And so vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises really help us become connected to the body, and you eventually start to learn how to change or affect what your vocal mechanism is doing so that you can actually control it voluntarily. That really is one of our purposes in consistent vocal warm-ups and vocal exercises. All right, so there are 4 tips plus one bonus tip for you to get started in your vocal warm-ups and your vocal exercises. So now it's your opportunity to get to work. Before you go do that, make sure you hit that like button down below and hit the subscribe button and notification. I'll be putting out new content each week to help you out. And by the way, don't forget to make a comment down below if this is helpful for you and if there's other content that you would like to see me address and post here on the Toma Vocal Production channel. See you next time.